Good Erev Shabbos, Parshas Toldos. This week we are now in the yellow zone and Shul can house 50% capacity. We invite everybody to join us this Shabbos. Of course, wearing masks, social distancing, and appropriate health procedures continue to be in place. Rivka is facing a challenging time at the beginning of this week's Sedra. She is pregnant, and it's not an easy pregnancy. Vayisrotzetzu habanim bekirba, the children are struggling within her. Vatomer, and she sounds exasperated. Imkein lama ze anochi, why do I exist? And she goes lidroshas Hashem, to inquire of Hashem. Vayomer, and God responds to her, you have two nations within you. One will be mightier than the other, and the older will serve the younger. V'rav Ya'avod Tza'ir. What is Rivka's question, and how exactly is Hashem addressing her concern? The Mefarshim struggle with this, and Rashi suggests that she's in great pain. And after all this pain and suffering, she says, Lama ze anochi? Why did I bother to pray and to desire this outcome of being pregnant? And she goes to Hashem, therefore, and she says, what will come of all this? And Hashem's response is really unsatisfying, and it does not address her question. If Rashi is correct, that she's wondering about the purpose of it all, well, Hashem just deepens her concern, because at the end he says there's going to be two warring nations or two competing nations. One will be mightier, the other, it doesn't even really address her question. And if it does, then it makes her circumstance worse. So Rashi's approach is somewhat challenging. The Ramban takes issue with Rashi, and he says this word lidrosh, that she comes to inquire of Hashem, does not mean to inquire. The word lidrosh in context of Hashem in the Torah always means lihitpalel, to pray. She came to pray to Hashem, whatever her difficulty was. It was a physical challenge, it was a spiritual challenge, she was having a theological challenge. What is this all worth? Why am I experiencing this pain? Why is God doing this to me? Some Mefarshim suggest that based on the Medrash, that when she would pass by a house of paganism, she would feel one set of pain, and when she would pass by a Jewish house of worship, she would feel another set of pain, apparently from one child or the other. And therefore, this posed a theological problem for her. Perhaps there are indeed, God forbid, to even utter it two deities in the world. And if that is in fact the case, Hashem's response is equally inexplicable and irrelevant, really, to her question. So how do we understand her question? How do we understand Hashem's response? Onkelos shares with us two important words when he translates the pasuk. Says the Targum, Vatelech lidrosh es Hashem, she goes to seek out ulpana. What does the word ulpana mean? Ulpana is Aramaic for a place of study, a place of learning. In other words, I think what Onkelos is telling us is that Rivka was in a position where she was very challenged and very difficult, spiritually, physically, emotionally, psychologically, whatever it is. And she goes to Hashem to seek understanding, to give a wisdom. How do I understand this all? And Hashem, and it's encapsulated in the statement, Imkein lama ze anochi. She basically has an existential moment. Explain to me my life. What am I to learn from this? How am I to go forward? And Hashem responds a totally irrelevant answer. He says, two children will come out of you. Maybe that addresses it somewhat. Then it goes off on an entirely irrelevant statement, which is that one will be mightier than the other, and the Rav Ya'avod Tza'ir, the older, will serve the younger. Basically, what Hashem is saying is, in my humble opinion, I can't answer your question for you. You are seeking learning from this experience. You are seeking wisdom from this experience. I don't give you those answers. That's not my function. I provide you the plan. I provide you the circumstances. I provide you the events. It's up to you, Rivka, to glean and to learn and to grow from it. Lama ze anochi, you ask that question, only you, Rivka, can give the answer. And so Hashem says, I will tell you one thing. There is a plan here. There is an end game here. It's not necessarily going to make you happier, and it's not necessarily going to answer your questions. But there is a tachlis. There is an ultimate plan. And that is the context, says Hashem, that I challenge you, Rivka, to come up with the appropriate answers of Lama ze anochi. Only you can answer that question, because you have the power within you. You have been endowed with the wisdom. It is innate to you. That's what I have given you as a human being. And now I've given you the circumstances through which you can access that learning, access that knowledge, and access that wisdom. But only you can uncover it. And so therefore, perhaps we can take the Ramban and Onkelos together. The Ramban says that she goes lehitpalel, to pray to Hashem. What is prayer? Prayer is not about finding an answer per se. Prayer is about creating a relationship with the Ribono Shel Olam, about deepening a sense of emunah and bitachon, about finding solace and comfort just in the relationship. But the work of wisdom, the work of learning, the work of knowledge, that's on me. That's on us. We continue to live in challenging times. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu continues to provide us circumstances that challenge us every day. Whether it is health-related issues in terms of the pandemic, political issues in the circumstances that we find our country today, whatever it may be, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the circumstances. The challenge to learn and grow from it falls upon us, and we are certainly up to that challenge, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given us the skills, the innate capability to do so. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless each and every one of us with joy, happiness, and health, and the strength of character to be able to take these challenging times and do what we can to learn and grow from them, and to become more refined, noble, and spiritually sensitive human beings. Good Shabbos.